November ushered a new dawn for the country. As a result, the 2025 budget speech was probably the most anticipated event in recent times. The new administration, as we all know, inherits an economic environment marred with several challenges. As a result of these mounting challenges, we witness unprecedented slide towards breach of some of our fiscal rules. Other pressures, of course, inherited by the new government include lack of diversification, youth unemployment, slow pace of policy development to support diversification and innovation. We know that the minister spelled out various interventions that are being put in place in order to address some of these challenges. I know that our panel of experts will delve more into some of these challenges and some of the solutions suggested during the budget speech. I look forward to these engagements tonight as we collectively tackle the issues and find workable solutions. Let's engage and have a productive evening. Thank you very much.
The First National Bank of Botswana 31st Budget Review Seminar evening session, an annual gathering where industry stewards, thought leaders and stakeholders unpack the national budget allocations. This year, the budget announcement was made by His Honour Ndaba Gaolati, Vice President of Botswana and Minister of Finance. Good evening and a very warm welcome to First Issues. This fiscal budget is aligned to the following key strategic priorities: modernizing and transforming infrastructure, enhancing quality of life, fostering innovation and digital transformation, and promoting a private sector export-led growth. Speakers present at the seminar were Dr. Keith Jefferis, who spoke on navigating Botswana's economic landscape, and research lead global markets at Rand Merchant Bank, South Africa, Samantha Singh Jani, who was tasked with sharing how Botswana can enhance economic resilience. Also speaking were Africa 50 Chief Operating Officer Tsipidi Moremong Ondongo, who spoke on reimagining Botswana's future, how strategic investments in infrastructure can drive economic resilience beyond 2025. In a lead Managing Director Wabona Kengwenyane, whose was to highlight catalyzing growth through digital transformation. And lastly, a delivery on shaping Botswana's tomorrow with Senior Policy Advisor at the Ministry of Finance, Naledi Madala. We first speak to Dr. Keith Jefferis, Economist and Managing Director at eConsult. Dr. Jefferis, thank you so much for coming on First Issues. We're here to unpack the 2025-26 national budget. And the last time we engaged with you, we had sought your expectations of this very budget. So in that engagement, you spoke that you hoped that, government would stop the fiscal leakages, that there would be more focus on maintaining infrastructure, and that there would be some sort of plan to manage debt or the budget deficits. So what are your thoughts now that the budget has been shared?
That I'm a little bit concerned that spending has continued to increase. And I think, as I said before, some tough decisions were needed. And I think they've probably been put off for another year. So essentially we've seen spending continue to go up, and because diamond revenues are still not great, the revised deficit for the year that's just finishing has now been significantly increased to 24 billion. So the deficit in the new budget year, 25-26, is now projected at 22 billion. It's still a big number.
Earlier during your presentation, you spoke that you were a little disappointed, right, that we're still bleeding money into projects and spending and all of that. So You speak right now of the hard decisions that needed to have been made. How do you suppose, or what do you suppose those should have been?
Well, I mean, there's a number of hard decisions you can take, and one would be on the development budgets, projects. And I think, so one reason the development budget is high is because we do a lot of infrastructure projects. And while we need some infrastructure investment, obviously, I think we should have been much more careful about prioritizing what are the really essential infrastructure investments that are going to help the economy. And maybe we should have parked or delayed or even cancelled some of the projects that are not going to be so beneficial. Second area where there could have been some cuts, we do a lot of transfers and subventions to state-owned enterprises. And I would have hoped that there would have been some trimming of those. And I didn't hear any of that trimming announced in the budget speech. The toughest area to cut is, of course, the wage bill. That is problematic because, government employs a lot of people, but I think government needs to make a more determined effort to reduce the workforce.